Reese takes Trinity out for a fancy dinner, hoping to charm her and rekindle their connection. However, the evening is fraught with tension. They argue about his role as alpha and his past mistakes, particularly his failure to protect her from a rogue attack. Trinity is hurt and confused by his actions and questions his sincerity. Reese, overwhelmed by his feelings and the weight of his responsibilities, struggles to express his true emotions and apologize for his past transgressions. Will Reese be able to apologize sincerely and convince Trinity of his love? Will their attraction ultimately consume them? Or will their past hurts continue to drive them apart?
By morning, it was too late. His mom was mid-conversation with Trinity at the breakfast table. Reese listened as he entered the kitchen. "You're doing great with them," Lila told Trinity. "We used to have a Phi who did most of the caretaking." "A Phi?" Trinity repeated, confused. Reese spoke up while pulling out his chair. "A Phi is a babysitter for the pack, a caretaker who helps the mothers with their cubs. Our last one passed away, and no one else stepped up to take their place." "Exactly." Lila leaned over to kiss Reese on the cheek. "Morning, Reese." "Good morning, Mom." He grinned across the table to Trinity. "Good morning." She nodded and mumbled, "Good morning." Lila sighed. "Don't tell me you two are fighting again." "We're not," Reese said. "She's just... I don't know what she is." "I'm fine," Trinity insisted. "Just getting used to some whiplash." "Funny you mention that. My neck's been hurting me a lot lately." She feigned a worried expression. "Have you tried a cold shower?" "I've had plenty," he growled. His mother watched them with wide eyes. "You two want the room, or can we finish talking about how the moms are struggling?" Trinity quickly turned back to Lila. "Sorry, right. I can't believe they've been on their own this long. Until we find another Phi, maybe we should have a packed daycare. It doesn't have to be every day, but a couple of days a week will give the mothers plenty of time to do stuff kid-free." Lila clapped her hands excitedly. "So thoughtful, don't you think, Reese?" He thought it would turn his house into a jungle gym. Trinity would volunteer one of their great halls in no time. How had he gone from no one in his house to a daycare in a few short months? He answered as neutrally as he could. "I think it would be a very popular idea among the pack women." Trinity's face fell. "So you don't like the idea?" "I never said that," he backpedaled. "It's necessary, especially if the mothers are struggling." Lila clicked her tongue at him. "Then you should have said you liked it the first time." "It doesn't matter if I like it. The Luna looks after the women and children, and I never said it was a bad idea." He didn't understand why he was getting reprimanded for a non-answer. Lila told him, "But you didn't say it was a good idea either. People can't read your mind, Reese." "Here, here," Trinity said. She hoisted her orange juice in the air for a toast. It felt mortifying to explain himself to Trinity. She acted as if everything he did was an act. Reese tried again. "It's not just a physical thing. I can prove it. Tomorrow on New Year's Eve, I'll be a good boy and keep my hands to myself the whole night." For a moment, she considered it. He watched a thought flash across her face, but she stuffed it down. "I'm fine with anything. Now, if you'll excuse me, I want to practice my new violin." She finished her orange juice and left him behind. He had to remind himself to be grateful. She was giving him another chance. He wouldn't let it go to waste. Reese knocked at 9 o'clock sharp the next night. Trinity opened the door all ready to go. Trinity smiled sweetly at him. He led the way over to the library. Trinity looked confused as he opened the door. He knew how much she loved the library. So he'd made it even more romantic. A candlelit table for two, far away from the books, with a roaring fire as well. The pièce de résistance was a takeout on the table. Trinity could smell it before Reese could even bring it up. Lucky Panda's garden? Trinity beamed. Oh, goddess, I haven't had this in months. She rushed to the table. Reese sped up to catch up with her. He managed to pull out her chair, but she wasn't trying to sit. She was too busy opening the containers. Chop suey, wonton soup, Chinese rib tips. Who told you? Reese grinned. Noah, I want to get to know you. That starts with some of your favorite foods. Her eyes sparkled. You could ask me, you know. It doesn't always have to be a surprise. He hummed. I asked you about tonight's meal, and you didn't answer. He reminded her. She nodded. You haven't always listened to what I said. I'm listening now, he promised. Her eyes still looked doubtful, so he did what he'd been avoiding his last few attempts. I'm sorry, little bunny, for what I said and how I treated you. I never should have rejected you or let my own confusion and doubts overpower our bond. That's why I want to start over. I want to do this right. Your doubts? She repeated. About me? About everything, he admitted. I'd never felt anything this strong. I had no guide and only bad experiences leading up to this. I called you weak, but you were tougher than I was to try so hard back then. Let me try now. Her face lit up as she launched into a story about their takeout selection. She started opening up to him. He returned the favor, sharing stories and answering her questions to get to know him too. There were no assumptions about what they knew already. This was new territory, and they couldn't wait to explore.
Reese, after a rocky start, finally seems to have found his footing with Trinity. He's learned from his mistakes, opened up about his doubts, and is making a genuine effort to understand her. Their date at the library, filled with delicious takeout and heartfelt conversation, is a promising sign. Will their newfound understanding be enough to overcome the obstacles that lie ahead?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.
Reese and Trinity are struggling. After a major fight, Reese tries everything to win her back, from romantic dinners to heartfelt gifts, but nothing seems to work. He even considers asking his mom for advice, but gets sidetracked by a conversation about the pack needing a babysitter. Finally, Reese decides to be honest and vulnerable. He plans a special evening at the library, complete with Trinity's favorite takeout, and sincerely apologizes for his past mistakes. To his surprise, Trinity responds positively. Will their newfound understanding be enough to overcome the obstacles that lie ahead? Can they truly navigate the complexities of their relationship and build a lasting connection?
He wanted me. Trinity blushed. She wanted him too, more than anything. But there were a few questions that Trinity needed answers to before she could give in. Did he still hate her? Would he reject her? Would he ever love her? After all the excitement of the previous few days, Trinity slept in and had a late breakfast by herself. Her classes wouldn't start for another week, and she wasn't expecting her schedule to be too demanding since she'd be taking them remotely. So she made her way to Lila's room to ask for some advice on the packed daycare that she wanted to launch. Come in, Lila called when Trinity knocked. So, the Sleeping Beauty emerges, Lila joked. I was worried you wouldn't wake for another 7 years. I'm sorry, Trinity laughed. I must have really needed the sleep. Can I tell you a secret? Lila lowered her voice. I think my son loves an opportunity to carry you to bed. Trinity blushed. Lila was right. There was the time when Trinity had fallen asleep in the library, again when she was unconscious at Riley's pack house, and again when Trinity had almost drowned. She visualized Reese effortlessly carrying her in his strong arms. Oh, goddess. Trinity's face flushed a brighter red. Why am I just realizing this now? Luna? Lila giggled. Come back to me. Sorry. Trinity shook herself out of her memories. I must still be waking up. No need to apologize. I understand better than anyone. It's funny. Lila gazed out the window. This must have been the same position we were in when you called me back to you and Reese. Wait, you remember that? Yes. Lila nodded. Has anyone told you what happened? Trinity shook her head. I remember the night my husband died clearly, Lila began. It was difficult for her to recount even after so many years. I remember going with him and a group of pack wolves, including my cousin Stephen, to sign a treaty between packs. There wasn't supposed to be a fight, but when we got there, we learned it was an ambush. Lila paused, fighting back tears. I watched my husband die in front of me. Then I was hit in the head by something really hard. The next thing I knew, I was walking in the darkness. There was never any relief from that oblivion. Trinity exhaled. She couldn't imagine the amount of pain that Lila had held for so long. I don't know what to call what happened to me. Most of the time, I was somewhere else entirely. But once in a while, I would hear things. I heard Reese's voice. He would tell me what was going on in his life. Sometimes he would talk about good things, his voice filled with pride. Other times he vented to me angrily. Often he would tell me what he couldn't tell others, his voice full of tears he probably never shed. Trini squeezed her hand. Between the two of them, they cared about Reese more than anyone else in the world. They both hated to see him in pain. But you know, Lila continued, I remember your touch as well. I remember when I heard your voice. I felt someone touch my hand, and when I looked down at it, where there had only ever been darkness before, I saw a thin white line attached to my palm. It was the first thing I had seen in that darkness, ever. What was it? Trinity was breathless. It was you, Trinity. Tears silently flowed down Lila's cheeks. You guided me back. You wanted me to come save my son, and you took my hand and guided me home. I don't understand. Trinity shook her head. How could I do that? How could I guide you back? You're special, Trinity. Reese has told me so as well. He said how you're not like the others. Yeah, because I don't have a wolf. Not because I'm someone who can do anything amazing. Are you sure about that? Lila broke into a confident smile. I followed you, Trinity. When I came back, I knew your voice. You brought me home because you're special. So many memories were flooding back to her. The time in the woods when she could smell the warlocks and Reese couldn't. When she could see them and Reese couldn't. How she never got a wolf. All of the things that marked her as different from everyone else, they were all coming back to her at once. What am I, exactly? Where do I belong? Who am I? These were the questions that Trinity desperately wanted answered. but she was never likely to find out.
Trinity sat stunned, the weight of Lila's revelation settling heavily upon her. The years of feeling different, of not fitting in, suddenly made sense. But with this newfound understanding came a torrent of new questions. Who was she, truly? What were her powers and how did she wield them? Was she truly a threat, as some had whispered? And most importantly, how would this newfound knowledge impact her relationship with Reese?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha,